Hello. In this video we will be discussing the viewer functionality of the AutoGrade system. If you have not watched the overview video, it's recommended that you watch that video first. That video can be found under the overview tab. If you scroll down at the bottom, you'll find a video just explaining the entire AutoGrading system, how it works, basically going through every step, and that gives you a better overview of things. That video references the viewer video, which is this video that specifically focuses on inspecting tests. So you'll see tests appear on your dashboard after you submitted them in the grade tab. So initially you'll see a auto grading status here. This is when the system is busy inspecting or evaluating every submitted test from the students, and basically predicting the student numbers and surnames as well as the answer fields. Once this is done, the test will change to inspection, and then you can use the viewer to inspect a few of the tests that the system might be unsure about. So let's toggle on this test. We'll toggle the view button. This opens the viewer. You can just give it a second to load. It's recommended that you use a Ethernet connection to allow these tests to load faster, but it should be able to work over Wi-Fi because it caches the test as well. So basically what you see is you see the submitted image of a specific test. So for example, we submitted 3 tests in this one batch and as a demo, and for each of them you'll see, for example, the student number that the student filled in as well as the predicted student number above that field. Same with the surname, and then for example for every answer you'll get predictions above those blocks, and for multiple choice answers you'll get predictions in the form of rectangles, green rectangles above the answer it thinks that the student filled in. For example, you can see here that it seems to have predicted every entry correctly. So it seems like this test has been correctly assessed. So when you submit a large number of tests, it might be useful, or is generally useful, to use the only uncertain toggle. So when you toggle this, you can use your right arrow to navigate to the next field that the system is uncertain about. So for example, if you toggle to the next field, it will say this is the next field it's uncertain about, and you can keep on toggling right, and it will skip any fields that the system is certain about and only go to the next field it's uncertain about. So for example, if you have 500 tests, it might skip a few of those tests if it's uncertain about every entry in that specific test. So this allows you to go through this large batch of tests much faster than you would be able to just going through manually one at a time. So it's recommended to use this for any large number of tests. And for this demo, we'll just go through them normally. So just to go through the controls of this viewer, you could use your mouse to, if you click on the canvas, you can use your mouse to translate the image. So for example, you can move it up or down. You can also scroll to basically enlarge or shrink the test itself. It is recommended that you use your keyboard for all these inspections as it's much faster. So for example, you could use the up and down arrows to navigate between the answer fields. You can keep on going up and down, and basically until you've reached the final answer, you could toggle through all of them using the up and down arrows. You can also toggle left and right to go toggle between, for example, multiple choice answers. So for multiple choice answers, let's us assume that the system made a mistake and you want to toggle A, for example, on this final multiple choice answer. So what you would do is you would go to the A bubble and you'll press 8 on your keyboard, and that basically highlights the A bubble, and then you will press 0 on the C entry that is filled in, basically erasing the C answer. And now you would see that the green rectangle has changed from the C block to the A block. So basically we've removed it from the C block and we said the answer is actually A. But we know that the answer is C in this case, so we'll just fix that again. Again, we'll press the keyboard entry to highlight the C answer, and then we press 0 to remove the A answer. All this can also be found under help for quick access to the keyboard commands. So if once we're done inspecting a specific test, what we can do is we can press the right arrow to navigate to the next test. If uncertain is clicked, it will navigate you to the next uncertain field, but yeah, for now we're not clicking that. So when we press the right arrow, we'll navigate to test 2, for example, and here we could see that the student filled in answers in the incorrect format. So typically you're only allowed to fill in numerical values and decimal values, for example. And here you can see that the student filled in other answers such as A equals 2, which is not allowed, symbols. But let's say we still want to grade this test. So what we will do is we'll press page down. So you see on the top here that it indicates that it's not going to use this test as training data. This is important because the system trains on these tests, and it's important to label them correctly so the system actually learns and becomes better throughout the year. So let's correct this answer. So we see the system predicted minus 9,2, but the real answer that was student filled in was 2. Same here, we could remove the incorrect predictions. For example, for entry 5, you can see that the student didn't even write inside the block, so the system can't predict what was written in the block. So what we do is we just write in the answer that was written outside of the block. We can go down, and we can see that all the other answers seem to be correct. And also the surname and student number seems to be correct. If we find that there was a mistake here, we can again just correct that by backspacing and deleting some of the entries, and we can fill in the correct student number and surname. It automatically corrects the surname if you fill in a student number. For example, if you fill in the correct student number here, you'll see it auto-completes the surname based on what it has on the submitted list that you provided. Green means that it's found a match inside the data set or the list. If it's red, it means there's no match found. In some cases, you might have a student number that's not on the list, so that's fine. And blue means that it was an initial match that the system found. So basically, if it's red, you just need to confirm that you're sure that the student number is correct because it was not on the list, and you can maybe add it to the list going forward. So once we've gone through all the tests, for example, this is the final test, we can see that in this case, it seems to have filled in all the values correctly. If we're done here, for example, every time we toggle between a test, it automatically saves your progress. So for example, you could easily go back to grading, so you can grade half of them, you can go back to the middle half of the test, and you will still be able to continue because it automatically saves between test toggles. So another thing that's important is you could use the search functionality to search for specific tests. So for example, you could search for test 1 by typing a colon and 1, and then it will take you to test 1. This again will be explained under help, but you can also search for a student number. So let's say we want to search for the student number starting with 1818. You can type that into the search bar and press enter, and it will take you to a closest matching student number. So for example, here we found a student number of 1818. And yeah, that's the basic functionality of the viewer. Once you are done viewing, you can press the done button, and that will take you back to the dashboard. And then the status will change from inspection to ready. When the tests are ready, you will find a results file as well as a images file. And the results file is just your results in as a CSV file, and images are the images of your submitted images, but sorted by student number. So this is sometimes useful if you have queries and you want to address them and directly look at the tests themselves. But you can also use the viewer and search there. That's it. That's the basic introduction of the viewer. If you have any other questions or queries, you could definitely reach out to me under contact. or anyone else that is listed on the contact, and we will be happy to address any questions you have. Thank you very much.